It has been, fighting for religious liberty has been a passion of mine for my entire adult life, and I have spent decades fighting for religious liberty. Before I was in the Senate, now almost 20 years ago, actually more than 20 years ago, I was the Solicitor General of Texas, the chief lawyer for the state and from the U.S. Supreme Court and all the state and federal appellate courts. And as the SG of Texas, I repeatedly defended religious liberty and won national victory. So I had the privilege of defending the words "one nation under God" in the Pledge of Allegiance when a radical atheist sued to have that struck down. And a court of appeals, the left-wing court of appeals out in California, struck it down. I represented all 50 states before the U.S. Supreme Court, and we won unanimously, protecting the words "one nation under God," the Pledge of Allegiance. Likewise, I defended the Texas Ten Commandments Monument. The Ten Commandments Monument stands on the state capitol grounds. It's been there since 1961. Again, an atheist sued, arguing it had to be torn down, and we defended the monument. We won in district court. It went to the Court of Appeals. I argued the case in the Court of Appeals. We won unanimously in the Court of Appeals, and it went to the Supreme Court, and we won a landmark 5-4 victory in front of the Supreme Court that not only upheld Texas's monument, but upheld monuments, Ten Commandments monuments, all over the country. Likewise, I was incredibly privileged when I was in private practice to defend the Mojave Desert Veterans Memorial. This is a lone white Latin cross that was erected to honor the veterans of World War I. And again, left-wing atheists, the ACLU sued, seeking to have it torn down. And I represented over 3 million veterans. I represented the American Legion and the VFW, and over 3 million veterans pro bono, which meant I did it for free. I donated my time to fight for these veterans, to defend that Veterans Memorial. We went to the Supreme Court, and we won in front of the Supreme Court, preserving that memorial. And so it has been a lifelong passion to defend religious liberty. Now, you mentioned that your pastor is being threatened. I don't know the particular circumstances concerning your pastor, but what I will tell you is one of the real legacies of the first Trump administration was the judges that President Trump put on the bench, who are fierce defenders of religious liberty. And in Texas, I think the federal judges that President Trump nominated, that I played a very significant role in helping select and helping get confirmed, I would put the federal judges in Texas from the first Trump administration up against any state in the country in terms of having principled constitutionalists committed to defending religious liberty. And so in my view, there is a reason that in the Constitution, in the Bill of Rights, religious liberty is the very first liberty protected in the very first clause of the First Amendment, because religious liberty is fundamental. That the very first liberty any of us has is to worship the Lord God Almighty with all of our heart, mind, and soul without government getting in the way. And so I think we ought to be protecting the conscious rights of people of faith. We ought to be protecting the religious liberty and the constitutional rights. And I can commit to you, I have spent my lifetime doing so, and I will continue fighting to do exactly that.